Okay guys, so here we have the first one, section 1. What we have to do is, remember we solve parentheses first, so since we can't solve what's in the parentheses, we can apply distributive properties. Therefore we end up with 5x plus 7y minus 8z plus 2 times 3, 6x, 2 times minus 4 minus 8y, and 2 times 6, 12z. So in reality we can also express this as 5x plus 7y minus 8z. We can eliminate the parentheses because now we have only additions and subtractions. So just remember that if this were to be a negative sign, it would affect everything inside. This case doesn't apply. And we join common terms. 5 and minus 8 equals minus 3 x, 7 and minus 8, sorry, 5 and 6, 11 x. Then we have 7 minus 8 minus 1, which we don't have to write, and minus 8 plus 12 plus 4z. Number 2, sorry about that. We don't actually have to do much for now. We can't solve once again what's inside the parentheses, but we have to be careful with this minus sign. This minus sign is like having a minus 1, guys, that's multiplying everything that's inside. So we end up with 9x plus 3y minus 5 minus 1 times minus 2, times 2 minus 2x minus 1 times 5 minus 5y, and minus 1 times minus 8 plus 8. Okay? So then we have sums and subtractions, so we can just eliminate the parentheses and we can start joining common terms. This one and this one, this one and this one, y with y, and independent term with independent term. Therefore 9 minus 2, 7x, 3 minus 5 minus 2y, and minus 5 plus 8, 3. There you go. Okay, number 3. Once again, we can't solve what's inside the parentheses yet, but we have to be careful with this minus sign, so this changes everything that's inside. And since we've been practicing this, I'm now going to take away the parentheses from the start. 3x plus 8y minus 9 plus 2x plus 6y minus, because this minus goes in, minus 4x and minus 9. Remember, it affects both, not just the first term. Once again, we look for common terms, this one and this one, which are independent, y's with y's, and x's with x's. We end up with 3 plus 2, 5, minus 4, 1. So we end up with an x, 8. 8 plus 6, 14y, minus 9 and minus 9, minus 18. Okay guys, number 4, I have 5 times, I have this expression. Remember, we have to solve first what's inside the parentheses. Since they have different variables, we cannot join them, so there's not much to do in all the cases. So the best thing we can do is apply distributive property. 5 times 3, 15x, 5 times minus 2, minus 10, 4 times minus 2, minus 8, 4 times 4, 16y, and minus 3 times minus 2, 6x, minus 3 times minus 2y, 6y. So we have to join all of these terms. Remember, terms that have the same variable, okay, with the same exponent. So we have 1, 2, 3 x's, which is actually 15 minus 8, 7, plus 6, 13x, okay? Then minus 10 plus 16, 6 plus 6, 12y. Okay guys, number 5. So we have this. Once again, we look inside the parentheses. Since they have different terms, we cannot sum them up, okay? So all we do is once again apply distributive. 1/2 of x plus, remember that this is actually, I'm just going to do one for you, 1/2 times 4y, and when it's a whole number, remember that all we have to do is put it over 1, okay? Same thing, and we multiply it directly. We're going to do it in the next step. So 2/3 times 3x over 1. If you have enough practice, guys, you can do this directly, okay? But for now, I'm showing you step by step. 4 times 2x, 8x, 4 times minus 7, minus 28y. Okay? So, we have 1/2 of x, okay? Then 1 times 4, 4 over 2y. Remember, this minus sign was for this one and this one. So here it is on both. Minus 2 times 3, 6x over 3. Then 2 times 3, 6 minus 6. This minus still there. Y over 3 times 4, 12. And then we have our 8x minus 28y. Okay? So we're going to have to join, once again, common terms. All the x's, x, remember, they have the same exponent, so we can do this. If they do not have the same exponent, we can do this. Okay? So basically we got 1/2 of x plus minus 6 divided by 3. Do you agree with me that it's 2x and 8x? Okay, that's for the x's. Now the y's. 4 divided by 2, 2y. 6 divided by 12 is 1/2. It's minus 1/2 of y. Then minus 28y. Okay? So since we have these fractions, we have to find a common denominator for all the terms that we're going to sum up. So in this case, for all the x's, we have to find a common denominator. It's going to be 2 for us. Okay? So I have 1/2 of x minus, remember this is like saying we have it over 1 and over 1. Okay? So 2 times divided by 1, 2 times 2 minus 4x. 2 divided by 1, 2 times 8, 16x. Okay? Plus, now we're going to look at the y's. Okay? Once again, our whole numbers we can put over 1 to make it easier to visualize what we're doing. Okay? So, we have our common denominator, or minimum common denominator, is 2. Once again, that's just a happy coincidence. Okay, 2 times divided by 1, 2 times 2, 4. So we have 4/2 of y. Then 2 divided by 2, 1 times 1, 1/2 of y, which we already knew. It's minus 1/2 of y. Okay? And 2 divided by 1, 2 times 28, 56. It's minus 56y. Now we can do this whole thing. Okay, so 1 minus 2 plus 16, so that's 17 minus 4, 13x over 2 plus minus 1 minus 56 minus 57 plus 4 minus 53 y over 2. Okay, and that's it. Number 6. Okay, so first try to solve whatever's in parentheses. Different variables, so kind of hard to do. We can't do it. So we apply distributive. 5x stays the same. 2 times 3, 6y. 2 times 8 thirds. Remember, this is the same thing as saying 2 over 1. So it's minus 16 thirds of x. Okay, and minus 3 times times 4x minus 12x minus 3 times minus 2. Remember, once again, 3 over 1, same thing. And remember, 3 divided by 1 is still 3, so same thing. 3 times minus 2 minus 6, plus 6 fifths. Okay, 1 times 5, 5y plus 6y minus 8. Okay, let's find our similar terms. Okay, x, we have y, and an independent term. Okay, so we do have a fraction for the x, so we have to find the minimum common denominator. In this case, it's 3. Okay, so our our whole numbers we put over 1. So minimum common denominator for the x's is going to be 3. 3 divided by 1, 3 times 5, 15x. 3 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3, 1 times minus 16, minus 16x. And 3 divided by 1, 3 times 12, minus 36x. Okay, plus, now for the y's, the common denominator in y, this is a 1, this is a 5, and this is a 1. So 5 will be our common denominator. Okay. Y. So 5 divided by 1, 5 times 6, 30 y. 5 divided by 5, 1 times 6, 6y. And 5 divided by 1 times 6, 30. Okay, so we add this up. 15 minus 16 minus 1 plus 36 minus 37 thirds of x. 30 plus 30, 60 plus 6, 66 y fifths. And there we go. Oh, sorry. And we're missing, I missed here, the 8, this independent term. We should have put it in here. Okay, this one. Sorry about that. Minus 8. Okay, there we go. Number 7, guys. So, as you can see, we don't have any factors here, so all we have to do is join the common, those that have the same variable to it. So y's with y's, remember, same exponent for the y's too. It's y to the 1 or x to the 1 depending. And in this case we also have a couple of independent variables. That means that they don't have a letter next to it. Okay, so let's just try and join them. We have 1/2 of x with 2x plus 2x minus 5/2 of x. Then let's do the y's. Plus 5/3 of y minus 1 or minus y, 1y, and plus 2/3 of y. Then we have the independent terms. We have a minus 8 thirds plus 7 thirds. So as always, we have to find the common denominator for those that have the same variable in order to be able to add them or subtract them. Okay, so our common denominator here, remember, whole numbers are the same thing as saying the whole number over 1. So 2x is the same thing as 2x divided by 1, still 2x. Okay, so common denominator, the smallest common denominator is 2. So 2 divided by 2, 1 times 1, 1x. 2 divided by 1, 2 times 2x, 4x. 2 divided by 2, 1 minus times 5x, minus 5x, minus 5x. Then for the y's, the common denominator, once again, 3, okay? So, 3 divided by 3, 1 times 5, 5y. 3 divided by 1, 3 times minus 1 or minus y, minus 3y, okay? And then 3 divided by 3, 1 times 2, 2y, okay? And fortunately for us, our independent variables have the same denominator, so it's straightforward. We do it directly. 8 minus 7, 1 over 3. Remember that when you add and subtract fractions, you don't add or subtract the denominator, only the numerator. Okay? There we go. So now all we have to do is solve it, guys. 1 plus 4, 5, minus 5, guess what? No x, 0x. I'm not going to write it because 0x, that's 0 something you don't write. You don't put a 0. 5 minus 3, 2 plus 2, 4. 4 thirds of y. And minus 1/3. Okay? That's our result. Number 8. So we have this. We find the common terms. The x's, okay, the y's, and the independent terms. So 1/2 plus 5x, 3/4 of y minus 2/3 of y minus 6/7 plus 8. Okay, and remember that the reason I have these with a 1 under them is because since I have to find a common denominator for these two, the minimum common denominator, I have to, I put it over 1, it's the same thing, okay? So remember that whole numbers over 1 are still the same number, okay? So, common denominator for these two, 2. So the first number that I can divide both by 1 and by 2 is 2, okay? So 2 divided by 2, 1 times 1, 1x. 2 divided by 1, 2 times 5, 10x. 12 is our common denominator for y. Why is this true? Because I can't divide the next number after 4 is 8. The next let's say factor. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and I can't divide it by 3. So I look for the next one. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Now, if I were to do it the other way around, 3 times 1, 3, and I can't divide it by 4, so I go to the next one. 3 times 2 is 6, I can't divide it by 4 either. 3 times 3 equals 9, I still can't divide it by 4, sorry, and 3 times 4 equals 12. 12 can be divided by 4, so therefore our smallest common denominator is 12. 12 divided by 4, 3. 3 times 3, 9 times y. So 9y. 12 divided by 3, 4 times minus 2 minus 8y. Okay? Then I have minus 6/7. 7 divided by 7. 1 times minus 6 minus 6. 7 divided by 1. 7 times 8, 56. So all I have to do is add this up. 1 plus 1 equals 11. Halves of x. 9 minus 8. 1 12 of y. And minus 6 plus 56, 57. There you go. Okay, so here we have number 9. In this case, we do have a factor outside the parentheses, so we apply distributive property, guys. Remember, we can't solve what's inside the parentheses because they do not have the same variable, or in some cases don't even have a variable. So you just have to do it in this way. 2 times 4, 8xy. 2 times minus 7, minus 14. X times x, x to the square. 2 times 8, 16x. Okay? Minus, please remember this minus. Minus 3 times 6 minus 18xy minus 3 times 8 minus 24 x times x, x squared. And finally, minus 3 times minus 2 plus 6, just x. Okay? Remember, we join common terms. X with x. Sorry, xy and xy. X squared and x squared, and x with x. Okay? So we end up with 8 minus 18 minus 10xy plus minus 14 minus 24 minus 38x squared, and 16 plus 6, 22x. Number 10. So once again, we look inside the parentheses. They have different variables, and a constant that we can't join. So distributive once again. 4 times 3, 12 xy. 4 times 6, 24 y squared, y times y. 4 times 5 minus 5 minus 20y, plus 3 times 4, 12xy. 3 times minus 7 minus 21 y times y, y squared. 3 times 9, 27 y. Okay. Now we find the common terms. Xy with xy, y squared with y squared, and y with y. So let's start with the x squared. Okay. So y squared. So y squared, we have 24 minus 21, 3 y squared. Now the xy's. So 12 plus 12, 24xy. And y's by itself, minus 20 plus 27, 7y. 11. So, once again, we look inside the parentheses. We cannot solve for either of the parentheses, so distributive. 2 times x, 2x. I'm not going to put in parentheses because I know I'm going to end up with subtractions and sums and subtractions. So there we go. 2 times 5 plus 10y. 2 times minus 8x squared minus 16x squared. 2 times 7 plus 14y squared. 2 times minus 5 minus 10xy. On this side then, 2x, 2 times 3, 6, 6xy. 2 times minus 8 minus 16x squared, x times x, and 2 times 3 plus 6x. Once again, common terms, x's with x's, y's with y's, there's no other y, there's no other y, x squared, y squared, no other y squared, and xy with xy. Okay, so 8x plus 10y, 16 minus 16 minus 16 minus 32x squared, 14y squared, minus 10 plus 6 minus 4xy, and there you go. So number 12, we can't solve what's inside the parentheses, guys, because it has different variables or even constant terms. Therefore, we go for the distributive property. Okay, so 2 times xy, 2xy, 2 times 5x squared, 10x squared, 3 times minus 3x times 2x, 6x minus 6x squared, 3x times y minus 3xy. Okay, then 5 times y, 5y times 3x, 15xy, 5y times 4, 20x. We find common terms for xy, 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 x squared, and a standalone y. So 2 plus minus 3 minus 1 plus 15, 14 xy. Then 10 minus 6, 4, and the standalone 20y. Okay, there you go. Okay, 13. So here once again we can't solve what's inside the parentheses, but we have to apply the distributive property. So once again, three times 2/3, 6. Remember that when we mix up fractions, the whole numbers is the same thing as saying it's over 1. So 3 times 2, 6. 1 times 3, 3 xy. 3 times 4, 12 x squared, and over 1. 3 times minus 1 minus 3, 1 times 2, 2, and x. Okay, then 5 times 4, 20 xy over 1. 5 times minus 2 minus 10 y squared, y times y. Then 1 times 5, 5. 5 times 1, 5y over 1 times 1, 1. Minus 6 times 1 minus 6. 1 times 2, 2. X. Minus 6 times minus 1, 6. Y. And 1 times 5, 5. Okay, as always, common terms. Okay, so those with xy and xy, those with y, those with x, and those, there's no other for the y square and the x square. Okay, so common denominator for these two, 3. 6 times 3 divided by 3, 1 times 6, 6 xy. 3 divided by 1, 3 times 20, 60 xy, plus this 12x squared over 1, then 3x times 2, and minus 6x squared, 6x over 2. Fortunately for us, have same denominator, so minus 3x minus 6x. Okay, this one we already did. then minus 10y squared 5, which actually we're going to simplify in the next step. Then a 5 over 1 and 6 over 5 are divided by 5, so our common denominator here is 5. 5 divided by 1, 5 times 5, 25y. 5 divided by 5, 1 times 6, 6y. Solve this, 66 xy thirds plus 12 divided by 1 is 12, so it's easier to write like this. Minus 3 minus 6 minus 9x over 2 minus 10y squared over 5, and 25 plus 6, 31 fifths. 31 fifths of y. Okay? And we're technically not done yet, guys, because we have to simplify this. So it's 66 divided by 3 is 22xy, and just write everything again. So if you can do this beforehand, it's okay if you skip this step, okay? So there we go. Okay, 14. We can't solve what's inside this parentheses, or this one, or this one. So where we can, we apply distributive property. This one doesn't have anything outside, so it just stays the same. I'm going to keep it, I'm going to eliminate the parentheses. And x times 4x minus x times 4x minus 4x squared minus x times minus y plus xy minus 2 times x minus 2x minus 2 times 4x squared minus 8 squared minus 2 times minus 7x y minus, plus 14xy. Once again, similar terms, xy with xy, x squared with x squared, and x with x. So we end up with 2x minus 2x, 0x, so I'm not going to write that down. 3 plus 1, 4 plus 14, 18 xy, and minus 4 minus 8 minus 12x squared. Okay, and if we were to be very picky, we could actually factor this out. So common factor of these two is 6, okay, 6x, and 3y times 6x equals 18x y, and minus 2x times 6x equals minus 12xy. So either of these two, for the time being, is correct, unless in an exam we ask for the factored results, okay? Okay, so we have number 15. Let me just make that clear. Sorry. Okay, so once again, we look inside parentheses. We can't add or subtract what's inside, so once again, we go to distributive. I'm sure by this time you're very familiar with it. So 1/2 times x, 1/2 of x, plus, I'm going to start doing this direct, guys, so make this quicker. 1/2 times 2/3 equals 2/6 of y, okay? 1/2 times 3 3/2, okay? Plus 1/4 times 3x, 3x over 4, okay? 1/4 times minus 4/3 equals minus 4/12 of y, and 1/4 times minus 1 minus 1/4 plus 1/8. Okay? Once again, common terms. You're experts at this by now. There we go. So, common denominator for 2 and 4, 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 2 times 1, 2x. 4 divided by 4, 1 times 3, 3x. Then comes 2, 6, and 12. So 12 will be our common denominator. 12 divided by 6, 2 times 2, 4y. 12 divided by 12, 1 times minus 4, minus 4. And last but not least, our common denominator for 8, 4, and 2, okay, is 8. So, 8 divided by 2, 4 times 3, 12. 8 divided by 4, sorry, 8 divided by 4, 2 times minus 1, minus 2, and 8 divided by 8, 1. Plus 1. Okay? So we end up with 5x fourths. I'm not going to write this down because 4 minus 4y equals 0. And 12 minus 2, 10 plus 1, 11. There we go. Okay, so number 1, section 2. They're all multiplying here, so remember that due to the laws of exponents, all we do is sum up the exponents for the same base. In this case, we're going to sum up 4 x's, okay? So, x to the 1, okay? Remember that when a variable doesn't have, a variable or any term doesn't have the exponent, it means it's a 1, okay? So we can do this if it makes it easier for you. So, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 6. 2 plus 1, 3 plus 5, 8. There we go. Number 2. 3/4 of x squared y times 2/9 of y to the cube. Okay, so first we're going to do the numeric part. 3 times 2, 6. 4 times 9, 36. Okay, and x to the square times x cubed, y times y third. Remember, we add this up, so we end up with y fourth. Problem number 3. So, numeric part first. 3 times 4 equals 12. 6 times 10, 60. X to the fourth plus x to the 1, x fifth. Y third times y third, y sixth. Remember, 3 times 3. X to the 1 times x to the fourth, x fifth, and x to the square plus times x to the y to the 1, y thirds. We have to simplify this, so 12 divided by 12 equals 1, 60 divided by 12 equals 5, and we can also eliminate this with this because it's the same. And remember that when you have a division with the same base, you just subtract the numerator from the denominator, so this would be like 6 minus 3. You end up with y thirds. Four. Okay, so once again we solve what's inside the parentheses first. Okay, so x to the 1 times x to the 2, x to the 3. Y to the 2 times y to the 1, y to the 3. All this is going to be square. And remember that by laws of exponents, when you have an exponent that multiplies an exponent outside, now you multiply, okay? So in this case, they were multiplying, so you add the exponents, but here the exponent's outside the parentheses, therefore it multiplies what's inside, okay? So you end up with x 6, y 6, x 6, and yx 9, and y 15, okay? Now we have to eliminate. 6 minus 9, you end up with minus 3, so to avoid negative numbers, we'll leave it on the bottom. Okay, so x to the 3, and 6 minus 15 minus 9, once again avoiding negative numbers, we'll leave it on the bottom, and that leaves a 1 on top. So 5 is 2xy squared to the 3 over 4x5 y3, all this square, and this whole thing to the cube. So let's do from the inside out. So 2x 2 to the cube is 2 times 2 times 2, which means we have 8. X1 to the cube, remember we multiply, so it's x cubed. Y to the square, or y to the 2, times 3, so y6. Over 4 to the square, 16. X times x to the 5, 5 times 2, x10. Y to the 3, 3 to the times 2 equals 6. Okay, so here we can see that before we even continue, we can eliminate these two. Okay, but although we've solved these two exponents, we still have one outside. This we can also simplify, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, 1x3 and 2x10. Okay, to the cube, we can also make this into one term. So remember, 3 minus 10 equals minus 7. So to avoid negative numbers, we leave it on the bottom. Okay, minus 7, all this to the cube. Okay, so 1 times 1 times 1, still 1. 2 times 2 times 2, 8. X 7 times 3, 21. There we go. Okay, and number 6. 1/2 x cubed y squared times 12y to z5. Okay, so 1/2 times 12 is equal 12 halves. Okay, x times no other x, so it stays the same. y2 and y2, you add them, they're multiplying. Y to the 4, and then z5, there's no other z, so it stays the same. We simplify this, so 6x squared y 4 z5. Okay, number 7. 3xy squared 6x squared y 2y square x. Okay, so let's do this one first because we have an exponent outside. So 3 times 3, 9, and these are both to the 1, so remember 1 times 2 and 1 times 2 for the exponents. Okay, so now we multiply this by 6x squared y 2y square x. Okay, so 9 times 6, 54 times 2, 108. X squared times x, so 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. Y squared, y and y squared, so y squared and y squared, y fourth, plus 1, y fifth. There we go. number 8. So we have to solve what's inside the parentheses first. 2 times 2 times 2, 8. X times x1 to the 3 means x3. Remember, we multiply this, okay? So, sorry about this. This is a 3, okay? Then y2, multiply the 2 times 3, 6. And all this multiplies this in here, so 4 times 4, 16. 16. 2 times 5, 10, so x10, and 2 times 3, 6, so y6. Now we have these two multiplying each other, so 8 times 16 is 128, okay? Then x to the 3 times x to the 10, x13, and y6 and y6, y12. Okay, and then we have 9, which is 18x5y all to the 2, then 6x squared y, 2xy squared, and so this means 18 times 18. For this I need a calculator, so let me grab it very quickly. 18 times, okay, 324, and 5 times 2, 10, so x10, and y2. Remember, this is y1 times 2, 2. 6 times 2, 12, x times x to the 2 times x, x3, y times y2, y3. So now we have to simplify this. So the 324 divided by 12 equals 27, okay? And x10 minus x, well, not minus, you subtract the 10 minus 3, so we get x7, and y2, 2 minus 3, y minus 1, so we'll leave it on the bottom, okay? And there we go. And last but not least of this section, guys, we have xy to the square, x squared y, divided by 2x3 y3. Okay? So, let's do these two first. X times x squared, x3, y times square, it's y squared times y, y cubed. Okay? And this divides. To make this easier for you guys in the way you know it already, I'm going to put it in the bottom. x3, y3. And as you can see, this magically eliminates itself, so we end up just with 1/2. Ok, vamos a hacer el ejercicio 1 de la sección 3. Iniciamos entonces con 3x cuadrada menos 6x más 7. Todo esto multiplica a 4x a la 3. Entonces en este caso lo que hacemos es aplicar distributividad. Recuerden que aplicar distributividad implica multiplicar todo lo que está dentro de este paréntesis por lo de este paréntesis. Entonces hacemos prácticamente este por este, este por este y este por este. Entonces 4 por 4x, 3x cuadrada por 4x tercera es igual a 12x. Acuérdense que los exponentes cuando se multiplican se suman, entonces x a la 5. Luego tenemos menos 6 por menos 4, menos 24. X por x tercera es lo mismo que tener x a la 1 por x tercera, que se suman, entonces x cuarta. Más 7 por 4, 28. y no hay x, entonces se queda la x tercera y ese es nuestro resultado. Continuamos con el número 2. Tenemos 2x cuadrada y que multiplica a 3x más 5y menos 1. Ok, volvemos a aplicar distributividad. Este por este por este y este por este. 2 por 3, 6. X cuadrada por x se suman exponentes, x3. Y aquí no hay y, entonces se queda y a la 1, lo mismo que decir y. 2 por 5, 10. X, y aquí no hay x, entonces se queda la pura x cuadrada. Y a la 1 por y a la 1 se suman y a la 2. Luego 2 por menos 1, menos 2. X cuadrada por, aquí no hay variables, entonces se quedan las variables del anterior, x cuadrada, y. Y aquí está nuestro resultado del 2. Número 3. 3xy, todo esto al cuadrado, el cuadrado está fuera del paréntesis, por 6xy menos 4. Recordemos que primero se hace lo que está dentro del paréntesis y en este caso el exponente afecta a todo lo que está dentro del paréntesis, entonces lo mismo que decir 3xy por 3xy por 6xy menos 4. Es decir que tenemos 9x al cuadrado y al cuadrado de este paréntesis por 6xy menos 4. Y otra vez de nuevo se aplica distributividad y entonces tenemos 9 por 6, 54, x cuadrado por x, x tercera, y cuadrado por y tercera. 9 por menos 4, menos 36, no hay variables, entonces se quedan los de la anterior sin modificación. 36, perdón. 4. 4x menos 2y, todo multiplicando a 2x, perdón, 3x más 5y menos 1. No aplicamos distributividad, por estos y que multiplica estos 3. Entonces, 4 por 3, 12. X por x, x cuadrada. 4 por 5, 20. 20. Y x no tiene otra x aquí y acá tampoco hay otra y, entonces queda x y y. 4x por menos 1, menos 4, no hay otra x, entonces queda la pura x. Ahora a esto le sumamos menos 2 por 3, menos 6. Abro el paréntesis para no confundirnos del signo. Menos 6y por x, xy. Menos 2 por menos 5, aquí lo voy a hacer el ejemplo sin abrir paréntesis, entonces el signo lo dejo afuera. Menos 2 por 5, menos 10. Y por y, acuérdense, se suman, y a la 1 por y a la 1, y cuadrado. Luego, menos y por menos 1, más 2y. Y entonces encontramos aquellos valores que tienen términos comunes, o variables comunes más bien, xy, y nada más. Entonces quedamos con 12x cuadrada, 20 menos 6, 14xy, menos 4x, menos 10y cuadrada, perdón, más 2y. 5. 2x más y menos 3, que multiplica 3x menos 7y más 1. Entonces tenemos que este multiplica estos 3. Voy a hacerlo por cachos. Entonces primero estos 3. 2 por 3, 6. X por x, x cuadrada. 2 por 7, menos 7, perdón, menos 14. X por y, xy. 2x por 1, 2x. Ok. Y ahora vamos con lo siguiente. Y por 3x, 3xy. Y por menos 7y, menos 7y cuadrada. Se suman los exponentes. Y por 1, y. Y por último tenemos, entonces, para no hacer todas las rayas, lo que puedo hacer es esto. Este menos 3 multiplica todos estos. Entonces, menos 3 por menos 3, x, menos 9x. Menos 3 por menos 7, más 21y. Y menos 3 por menos 1, menos 3. Entonces volvemos a encontrar los términos con variables iguales. Tenemos estos, las xy, las x, esta y ya. Entonces terminamos con 6x cuadrada, 14 menos 14 más 3, 11 menos 11xy. Luego 2x más menos 9x nos da menos 7x. Luego tenemos menos 7y cuadrada y y más 21y, 22y. Y por último, esta y ya la hicimos, las x también ya están, nos falta únicamente el término independiente. Tenemos x cuadrada más 2xy menos y cuadrada por 3x cuadrada menos 4xy más 2y cuadrada. Okay. Igual que hace rato lo vamos a hacer por distributividad. Entonces, x por x cuadrada, 3x cuadrada, perdón, 3x cuarta. X cuadrada por menos 4x, tenemos menos 4, los exponentes de las x se suman, entonces x tercera, y. X cuadrada por 2y cuadrada, más 2x cuadrada, y cuadrada. Luego, este por este por este y este por este. Entonces, 2xy por 3xy más 6, los exponentes de las x se suman, x tercera, y. 2 por menos 4, menos 8. X por x, x cuadrada. Y por y, y cuadrada. Luego, 2x por 2y, 2 por 2, 4. X y por y cuadrada, y tercera. Por último, menos y por todo este factor. Entonces, menos y por menos 3x, menos 3, x cuadrada, y cuadrada. Luego menos por menos, más 4, x, y los exponentes de la y se suman, y a la tercera. Y por último, menos y por menos 2, menos 2, y los exponentes se suman, y cuarta. Ok, perfecto. Vamos a encontrar los términos semejantes. Tenemos x cuadrada, y cuadrada. x tercera y, x tercera y, xy tercera y ya. Entonces, 3x cuarta, estos dos se suman, menos 4 más 6, 2. 2x tercera y, 2 menos 8 menos 3, se hace menos 11 más 2, más menos 9, x cuadrada y cuadrada, y 4 más 4, 8, x y tercera y menos 2 y cuarta. Por último tenemos luego el 7. El 7 es 1/2 de x más y multiplicando a 2/3 de x menos 5y. Volvemos a aplicar distributividad. Este por este y por este y este por este y por este. Entonces, 1/2 por 2/3, 2/6. X por x, x cuadrada. 1/2 por menos 5, menos 5 medios. X por y, xy. Y por 2/3, perdón, 1 por 2/3, más 2/3, x por y, xy. Y o 1 por menos 5, menos 5, y por y, y cuadrada. Términos semejantes estos dos, entonces, y simplificamos esto, 1/3 x cuadrada menos 5 más 2 menos, perdón, tenemos que encontrar el mínimo común denominador con este, entonces tenemos, vamos a irnos a sextos, entonces tenemos, para llegar a sextos, esto es 6 entre 2, 3 por 5, menos 15. 6 entre 3, 2 por 2, 4. 4, todo esto multiplica xy menos 5y cuadrado. Esto es igual entonces a 1/3 de x cuadrado menos 15 más 4 menos 11 sextos xy menos 5y cuadrada. So, sorry for having it all written, guys. I lost the video somewhere for this exercise, number 9. So, number 9. We start with this whole thing, okay? And what we have to do is apply distributive property, okay? So remember that when we apply distributive property, basically what we do is multiply this one by this one, and this one by this one, and this one by this one, okay? So, 2/3 times 4/3, 8/9, x squared, because it's x times x. 2/3 of x times 5 minus 5/2 of y, minus 10/6 of xy. Then 1/2 y times 4/3 x, 4 over 6, or 4/6 of xy. And last but not least, 1/2 y times minus 5/2 of y, 5/4 of y squared. We relate the common terms. We have an xy and xy here. X squared and y squared do not add up, okay? So we can't simplify this. This goes right down as 8/9 x squared. Then 10 plus 4, minus 10 plus 4. Fortunately, they have the same denominator. If not, we would have to find the common denominator. So it's minus 6 over 6 xy, the result, and this one we can't simplify either, so it goes right down. 5 over 4 y squared, okay? So we can still simplify this part, which is 6 divided by 6 is obviously 1, so it's very simple, straightforward, have the same. Then minus xy, okay, instead of 6, it's xy or 1xy, same thing. Minus 5/4 y squared, and there's your result. Okay, so this is number 1 for section 4. Remember to do these, it's very easy. All we have to do, let's say, redo is how we state it, okay? And we have to find the correct order for the exponents. So first we will go with the highest, 18x fourth minus 9x cubed plus 8x squared plus 5x. This will be divided by 2x. So remember, it's like a normal division. Okay. So by what number do I multiply this 2x? That gives me 18x. So 9 to give me the 18, and x3 will give me 18x4. I subtract that, get 0. Next one, 9x3. So the nearest I'm going to get is, to be exact, I would have to use a fraction, okay? So I would have to multiply it by 9 minus 9 halves x to the 2. 9 halves, guys, because 2 times minus 9, 18 divided by 2, minus 9. Okay, so I get the minus 9 and the x3 out of x2 times x. Okay, so remember we are always subtracting, so it's minus this. So there we go. We also get a 0 here. Don't be afraid of using fractions. Then 8x squared. Okay, so that's more simpler. All I have to do is 4 times 2, 8, and to get an x squared, x. So I get 8x squared minus, and once again I get a 0. And last but not least, I get the 5 plus 5x. Once again, don't be afraid of using a fraction. So if I use 5 halves, 2 times 5 halves will give me 5 times x. Oh, sorry, no x, because in this case we already have the x. So 5 halves times 2, 5, and 5 halves times 2x, 5x. So I have 5x minus 5x, still 0, so there I go, I get the 0. If you don't use fractions, guys, you're going to get a residual here, or something at the end here. And then you're going to have to write this whole thing again, this over this whole thing. So, highly recommend you do this, much easier to do this way, okay? So, your result is that the result of dividing this by this is 9x cubed plus minus 9 2x squared plus 4x plus 5 halves. There you go. Okay. Number 2. So we have this. Once again, we have to rewrite it. 25 x third y second. I recommend that you either follow the order of the exponents of the x's or the y's. Same thing. Remember, if you don't, as long as you have one exponent, one term in the bottom, won't be much of an issue. So just rewrite it, and 5xy. So first term here. What do I have to multiply to get this? Well, 5 times 5, and the x times 2. X times 2 equals x3, and so 5 times 5, 25. X times x, x3. And y times y, y to the 2. So I subtract that, I get a 0. Go with the next one. Squared. So to get a 15, 3 times 5, 15. X times x, x squared. And y fifth times y, y sixth. So if I subtract that one, I once again get a 0. go with the next one. 35x squared y fourth. So, what do I have to get a minus 35, remember, minus 7 times 5, and to get, that's minus 35, and x times x squared, and y to the 3 times y to the 4. Remember, this is always subtracting, so this will eventually change to positive, making this 0. Then we have 20x plus 20x squared y squared. So to get a 20, 4 times 5, 20, then x times x squared, and y times y squared. And we end up with a 0. So this is a result. Before rewriting it, I recommend that you look and see if we have anything that is a common term. So no common terms. We have different exponents, same basis but different exponents, so we can't join them. So your result is basically 5x squared y plus 3xy 5 minus 7xy 3 plus 4xy. Okay? If we decided to factorize this a bit, guys, to make this easier, we find that the lowest exponent of x is x to the 1, and the lowest exponent of y is y to the 1. So this multiplies 5x, and we get 5x x squared y. Then to divide this by this, and we get 3 no x, the x cancels itself, and y fourth, minus 7 no x again, and y2, y3 minus y1, y2, plus 4. So, you can express it in both ways. Okay, so let's go with the next one. So number 3, we have x to the third plus 2x squared minus 3x divided by x plus 3. Okay, so you have to be careful. We now have two terms, so I recommend highly that you check the order of the exponents. We're good here. Okay, so x to the 2 times x to the 2, x to the 3, and x to the 2 times 3, 3, I get 3x to the 2. So if I subtract this, I get a 0 here, but a minus 1 or a minus x squared here. Okay, remember, we're subtracting this from this. I add the next term, 3x, okay, and to get, once again, x squared, I need an x. So x times x squared. So far so good. Oh, sorry, minus x squared, because remember, we're subtracting this, and minus x times 3 minus 3x. So if we subtract this, remember, it's like changing the whole signs of everything. So we get 0 and 0, so we're good. So the result is that dividing this by this, our result is x squared minus x. There we go. Number 4. We have a 2x to the cube minus 4x minus 2. Once again, remember, I already ordered this. Check the order of the exponents, okay? And we're actually missing something, okay? And I'll show you in a minute. 2x plus 2, okay? We're actually missing here the x squared, okay? So we rewrite this. 2x plus 2 divides 2x cubed plus 0x squared minus 4x minus 2. Okay? So what do we get out of this? To get a 2 cubed square, well, we just multiply it by 2 to the x to the square, sorry. So x to the square times 2x, 2x cubed. X to the square times 2x, times 2 equals 2x squared. Okay, so once again we subtract this, get a 0 and a minus 2x squared. Then we get the next term in, and so to get a minus 2x squared we need a minus x. Okay, so minus x times 2x, minus 2x squared, minus x times 2 minus 2x. So remember, once again we're subtracting, so this changes these signs. Change this way, same thing. So we get a 0 here and a minus 2x, minus 2. Okay, so pretty straightforward, the same one. So all we need here is a minus 1. Minus 1 times 2x, minus 2x. Minus 1 times 2, minus 2. And we get, remember, we're always subtracting. Once again, we change all the signs if you wish, if it makes it easier for you. And so we get 0 over 0. We're good, no residue. So no residual. X squared minus x minus 1. There's your result. And last but not least, we have 5, number 5. So we have, be careful of the exponents. So we have x5. The next one has to be x to the 4, which has a 3 to it. Then 4x to the third. Then minus 20x squared minus 6x plus 20. Okay? Very good. So x plus 2. Remember, we always have to order in the highest exponent for the x. Okay? So to get x5, I need an x to the 4th. To multiply this, I get an x5. 2 times x to the 4, 2x4. And remember, we're subtracting, so in reality this is a 0 and this is a minus 5x4 plus 4x3. To get a minus 5x to the 4, so I need a minus 5 and an x to the 3, which multiplied by x gives me minus 5x4. This multiplied by 2, I get a minus 10x to the cube. Okay, so minus, once again, remember we can change the sign if you wish. I get a 0 here, but here I get a 14x cubed. So, next term is minus 20x squared. So here what I use to get a 14x, I'll try with a 14 and x squared. So 14 times x squared, 14x cubed. 14x squared times 2, 28. 28x squared. Okay? So if we're subtracting this, once again, 0, and here it's minus 48. Okay? Minus 48x squared. Okay? Then we lower the 6x. So to get a 48, what we're going to do is a minus 48 here. So we get minus 48 here, x, and we need an x here, so to get this to be x squared. And minus 48 times 2 is 96, so minus 96x. Okay? And we subtract these. Remember, if I change the sign, same thing. 0 plus 90x plus 20. And to do this, I need a 45 times x, 90x. 45 times 2 plus 90. Remember, once again, I'm subtracting, so minus 70. So I have a residual in this case, which I can do nothing about it. Okay? So I'm sorry to say our answer is going to be very long. Okay, so basically we get, I'm going to write it a bit smaller, guys, because if not, it's not going to fit. So x to the 4 minus 5, excuse me, 5x cubed plus 14x squared minus 48x plus 45 plus our residue, or residual factor, over this whole thing. So x5 minus 3x4 plus 4x3 minus 20x squared minus 6x plus 20. So quite a long answer, but there we go. Sección 5, ejercicio 1. Y el ejercicio 1 nos dice que tenemos x cuadrada más 5x más 6 entre x más 2. Nos pide hacerlo por división sintética, entonces acuérdense que cada uno de los términos debe tener un factor. En este caso, este es 1, 5 y 6. 1, 5 y 6. Recuerden checar bien que se respete además el orden, que haya un factor por cada una de las potencias, de mayor a menor. Es decir, si aquí hubiera sido, si no hubiera aparecido la x, hubiéramos puesto 0 aquí, no podemos omitirlo. Ok, luego despejamos el denominador. Nos queda x es igual a menos 2. Por lo tanto, ese va a ser el primer valor que intentamos para la división sintética. 1 baja directo, 1 por menos 2, menos 2, 5 menos 2, 3, 3 por menos 2, menos 6, menos 6, 6 menos 6, 0. Por lo tanto, podemos decir que este sí es un factor de esta ecuación, entonces podríamos reescribir esto como x más 2 que multiplica. Entonces recuerden que disminuimos en 1 la potencia mayor del numerador, y entonces es lo que sería el primer número. Es decir, este 1 en lugar de ir con x cuadrada va con x a la 1, y este 3 en lugar de tener el siguiente, en lugar de ser x a la 1 es x a la 0. Recuerden que cualquier término a la 0 elevado a la 0 es por definición 1, entonces es 3 por 1, 3. Entonces factorizamos lo de arriba y tenemos esto. Estos factores son el mismo, se cancelan, y entonces quedamos con x más 3. Muy bien. Ok, para el número 2 nos dice x cuarta más 5x tercera menos 8x segunda más 7x menos 2, todo sobre x menos 1. Entonces observamos primero que si tengamos un factor para cada una de las potencias de la variable, es decir, x a la cuarta si está, x a la tercera, x a la segunda, x y x a la 0 técnicamente aquí, que lo dejamos como la variable independiente. Ok, entonces nuestra división sintética se debe de armar de la siguiente manera: 1, 5, menos 8, 7, menos 2. ¿Ok? Y aquí es donde intentamos con diversos factores. De una vez les di el primer factor con el que debieron de haber intentado. Acuérdense que se despeja el denominador. Entonces tenemos x menos 1, x igual a 1. Entonces aquí debieron de haber puesto 1. 1 baja directamente, 1 por 1, 1, 5 más 1, 6, 6 por 1, 6, 8 menos 8 más 6, menos 2, menos 2 por menos 1, menos 2, 7 menos 2, 5, 5 por 1, 5, y menos 2 más 5, 3. Entonces, como este no dio 0, no es un factor de nuestra ecuación, perdón, de nuestra operación, y entonces de una vez les ahorro el tiempo. No van a encontrar un valor que haga que este valor sea 0, por lo tanto nuestra ecuación queda igual. No se puede resolver por lo menos por división sintética. 3. Dice x tercera menos 9x segunda menos 4x más 36, todo sobre x más 2. Volvemos a intentarlo, revisamos primero. Tenemos x tercera, x segunda, x y el factor y el independiente. No nos falta ninguno, por lo tanto seguimos el orden que está establecido. 1 menos 9 menos 4, 36. Y despejamos de nuevo. Y es nuestro primer valor. 1 menos 2, 1 por menos 2, menos 2. 9 menos 2, menos 11. Menos 11 por menos 2, 22. 22 más 4, perdón, 22 menos 4, 18. 18 por menos 2, menos 36. 36 más, perdón, 36 menos 36, 0. Resulta que sí es nuestro factor. Entonces recuerden, estos números ahora representan nuestros factores para nuestra nueva ecuación, pero recuerden que se disminuye en 1 la potencia. Entonces para este 1 es x cuadrado, 1x cuadrado menos 11, el siguiente es x, y 18 es nuestro término independiente. Recuerden que esto multiplica a x más 2, y todo esto lo tenemos sobre x más 2, por lo tanto se cancelan estos dos y es nuestro resultado, x cuadrado menos 11x más 18. Como podrán observar, este resultado y este resultado son muy similares, son iguales, nada más una vez ya expresados con sus variables. Entonces podrían sacar directamente aquí acá. Esto es para que entiendan de dónde, por qué se cancela o de dónde desaparece el x más 2. 4. X tercera más 5x cuadrada más 4, todo sobre x menos 4. Revisamos que tengamos todos ¿cómo se dice? Las potencias del mayor hasta el menor. X tercera sí, x segunda, y nos falta la x a la 1. Por lo tanto, ese se representaría con un 0 y el término independiente. Es decir, tenemos 1, 5, 0 para la x y 4. Despejamos. Y entonces utilizamos este valor. 1 por 4, 4. 5 más 4, 9. 9 por 4, 36. 36, 0 más 36, 36. 36 por 4, 148. 148 y 4, 152. No es nuestro valor, por lo tanto necesitamos intentar con otro valor. De nuevo, al igual que en otros ejercicios, les anticipo que no van a encontrar un valor que haga que esto sea 0. Entonces vamos a decir en este caso que no se puede resolver por división sintética. Ok, tenemos en el 5 x cuarta menos 13x cuadrada menos 60 entre x quinta. Perfecto. De nuevo revisamos nuestros factores. X cuarta, nos falta x tercera, x segunda sí que lo tenemos, nos falta x a la 1 o x y el término independiente. Entonces tenemos 1, 0, menos 13, 0 de nuevo y menos 60. Despejando aquí, ya saben, el primer valor que usamos es el menos 5. 1 por menos 5, menos 5, 0 menos 5, menos 5, menos 5 por menos 5, 25, 25 y 13, 12, 12 por menos 5, 60, 60 y 0, 60. 60 por menos 5, menos 300. Menos 300 y 60, menos 360. Y de nuevo hay que volver a intentar esta misma operación con estos mismos factores con diferentes posibilidades para la división sintética. Sin embargo, igual les anticipo de una vez que no existe un valor que nos va a hacer que nuestro residuo sea igual a 0. Por lo tanto, podemos decir de nuevo que no se puede resolver por división sintética.